shuffle this. Let's see which first.
Check your message, baby. Might have something special that's waiting for you. Know you like your natural, baby.
Okay, so I have a specific topic to talk about today, guys. I actually just came to a realization that's been in the works for like a year and a half. And so I wanted to hop on here and talk about it. I was going to make a video, but I just feel like it's so much information. I would rather just do a live. But first, I just want to say everything that I say is for educational purposes only. And any music that you hear playing in the background, I do not own the copyrights. The copyright owners are going to be the labels that these artists are signed to, which can be Empire, United Music Group, Universal Music Group. They can be independent artists, Warner Music, Sony Music. They're going to be the copyright owners of this music, any music that you hear on today's live. Hey, Eternity. Hey, Hija. Yeah, I just washed my hair, so I'm a little hot. Hey, Eternity. I'm doing good. Today's actually a really good day. I spent yesterday, or the bulk of yesterday, meditating and just kind of getting my mind right, which kind of led me to what we're about to talk about. So, I've been pretty good. Just trying to relax on my weekends because I'm so busy throughout the week. Like, I really, like, normally I would respond to like chats and stuff from people on the weekend, but these last couple weeks I've really been like standing strong in my boundaries and stuff. Hey, Celine. Just because I've just been trying to like reserve some time for myself. But what I wanted to hop on here and talk about was kind of where I am in my journey. And I feel like a lot of people don't be talking about this. So I just wanted to discuss it today just because I got a deeper understanding of something that it's like I intellectualized it, but I didn't really become it yet. And so because this weekend I stepped into the frequency of it, it helped me to get a better understanding of what it actually is, right? So, about a year and a half ago, I was taking this class, and it was like a spiritual class, and we were talking about like identities, and we were talking about like the boxes that we put ourselves in, our parents put us in, society put us in, and how we basically subscribe to certain identities. And some of those identities would be like, girls behave this way, boys behave that way. You know, black people don't do that. That's for white people. Like, it's like, you know, so it's like not only gender, but race. And then it's also like if you're an athlete, athletes have to conduct themselves in a specific way. If you're a scholar, scholars have to act this way. You know, it's like all these different boxes that we associate ourselves with or we put ourselves in, right? And so when I was in the shower yesterday, well, actually, let me finish saying what I was saying. So when I did this in this class, yeah, the restrictions that we uphold, basically trying to figure out who we are, right? Subscribing it to us as an identity characteristic. And when I first took the class, 1 second, Ada, just give me 1 second. Let me get this out. When I first took the class, it's like I understood why we were doing it. I understood what the concept of it was, right? However, I felt like I had not become it yet, meaning like I was not resonating on the frequency of it yet. So I did not fully understand the meaning of it. You know, it's like I understood what I was doing. I understood why we were doing it. I understood what the topic was about. I intellectualized my way through it. However, I had not arrived at it yet. I had not awakened to it fully yet, right? So yesterday when I was in the shower, I got out the shower and, well, actually before I even got in the shower, yesterday once I got out the shower, I heard in my head that our identities are the problem. Your identity is the problem. And so I'm like, oh, okay. And I just move on about my day because I get messages all the time and it's like I don't fully understand them. It's like breadcrumbs. Like my guides are always just leaving me little pieces of stuff, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll go about my day. And yesterday, for some reason, I kept feeling the need to do some releasing around fear. And specifically because like I've been having a lot of dreams where I feel like I'm getting shot or I'm getting like people are throwing knives at me or like, you know, like really getting spiritually attacked in my dreams, right? But I just realized the other day that it's not a spiritual attack. I am having these dreams because when I'm in my waking life, I feel like I'm being attacked, right? So your subconscious mind is just bringing to your awareness what needs to be brought to your awareness, right? So that happened, but also I had a download about something that was happening in my reality that's a real thing that was kind of causing havoc in my reality. So yesterday I decided to do like a little protection ritual, like get my mind right, all that, right? And as I was doing the ritual, I really felt like I was like stepping into my power, and I was like really demanding what I wanted, right? Stepping into my authenticity and saying like, I don't want this, I don't want that, what I actually want is this. And I was just really like realizing that, you know, the darkness that exists inside of you is meant to protect your light. You know, if somebody comes at you, your response should match the threat, right? And that I'm no longer scared, because I felt like when I was younger, there was a situation that happened with my brother, and it was like we was 9 and we had like computers, like these big computers that you had to put the dial-up cord in, and it would do. You gotta wait, and then everybody would be playing games or creating art or like whatever on a computer. And like it was my turn for the computer, and my brother didn't want to get up. So I told my auntie, you know, like get him, because I'm like 8, and I'm like, you know, get him up so that I can do what the fuck I want to do. And so she got him up, and then he got mad, so he hit me when she left, and I had pushed him, and we had like this, you know, them baskets, the tall baskets, but that motherfucker was broke up at every fucking level. It was like a crack or a break in it. Hey, Deja. It was like a break or a crack in it. So when I pushed him, he fell into the basket and it scraped his back up. And my mama came in the room and she whooped me immediately and was like, don't put your fucking hands on my son. Like, you're bigger than him and da da da. And so from that day, I remember that specific day. Like, I remember it like yesterday, because it's when I gained awareness that I am a lot bigger than most people. Like, I'm 6 foot tall. I'm a woman, but I'm 6 foot tall, you know? So I feel like even when I would get in fights when I was younger, if I ever seen that you was terrified, or I ever seen that the point had been proven, I would just stop. Like, I'm not about to beat you to a motherfucking pulp. It was like point proven, threat neutralized. I will move on, right? And so I had a dream last week where somebody was coming at me, and I legitimately was like trying to avoid it. It was like almost like I wasn't running from it, but I was just like, no, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, right? And so then the person came towards me, and it was like they was really like intending to harm me. And it was like a wall with like some nails in it. And I just grabbed their head and smashed them into the wall. And I said to myself, see, this is why I don't like fucking doing this. And then it's like it clicked. I came out of my dream, and it was like, oh, your whole life you've been letting people slide and letting people slide and letting people slide because of this incident that happened when you was a child. And it's causing you not to react appropriately to certain situations that are really meant to harm you, right? So I was releasing, when I was releasing yesterday, I was like having that memory, and I was just releasing the fear around it. And I was like, no, like, I have the right to protect myself. You know, it doesn't matter what the situation is. I have a right to protect myself, right? So once I get over that, I go into meditation, and once I get over that, I go into meditation, but I'm just doing healing work. Like, I'm literally releasing the fear. I'm replacing the fear with courage. I'm like calling my power to the top, calling my protection to the top. Like, I'm doing stuff like that, right? And so I go to sleep, and I wake up this morning, and they say again the thing about the identities. And I'm like, okay. So I click on YouTube, and the first video that pops up is talking about the 12 domains that we have to move through as a soul in order for us to ascend back towards source energy. But we're still in this physical reality, right? But we're just ascending to our highest level in this physical reality, and then we bring that wisdom and that knowledge back into the physical reality with us. And in this video, they talked about the 7th domain, and how, which is your crown chakra. Now I'm realizing, because they broke it down to me after I watched this video, this is just a happenstance. It's not a coincidence, it's guidance. But I woke up, I got on YouTube, I seen that first video, I said, oh, let me watch this. I watched it, and it talked about exactly what the fuck Spirit had been telling me, right? So it's talking about how once you get over being in this 6th domain, which is you kind of being in the astral realm, like you getting those spiritual attacks, you having to deal with the shadows and the fears and the this and the that, then you get access to the 7th domain, which is your crown chakra, which is really like the initiation stage to your becoming whole, you moving back towards wholeness. It's like it's the boundary in this physical reality before you start to getting access to the higher realms, meaning like like divinity, like divine sources. Like you start getting access to that, and the initiation is becoming no one, which I was just like, when I think about it, it's becoming no one. It's releasing the identities, right, that you have subscribed to, and realizing that, you know, since you were a kid, when you came here, your parents told you your name is this. We do this in this household. You're a Moor, so you can't disgrace the family name. So you got to do this and you got to do that. And we behave like this in public, and we do this and we do that, and all of those things, right? And so you immediately came into an environment that started to cause separation, and the separation is the identities that have been subscribed to you, because what it did was take away your ability to show up authentically, because you had people around you in society telling you you need to show up this specific way, right? So when you get to the seventh domain, or the initiation, is you being able to release that, you being able to realize that you're not just this name, you're not just this body, you're not just a girl, and whether or not you fit in the box or not, regardless, at the end of the day, you still live this existence as a girl. So if you did it the way they told you to do it, or you did it your own way, either way, you lived in existence as a girl. You know what I'm saying? So it's like breaking free of the change, and it's liberation. And so I realized esoterically, the crown chakra has to do with Saturn, and Saturn is about liberation. The masculine side is Aquarius, which is about liberation in your external environment. But then the feminine side is Capricorn, which is about self-liberation, right? And part of Capricorn is releasing those self-limiting beliefs that you have placed on yourself that are keeping you from abundance, and they are the identities. The identities are the fucking problem. It's us subscribing or trying to fit into these boxes that's causing us the pain and causing us everything else, right? Because if you think about it, you know, if you come into society and society says girls wear pink and girls do this and girls do that and you don't fit into that box, it starts making you question what is wrong with you. And it starts causing pain and suffering and identity crises when it doesn't need to cause that. If you were just allowed to show up authentically without those constraints and restrictions being placed on you, then we would never have to go through that. But because this is the realm of illusions and separation, that is the separation. The separation is the conditioning. The separation is the different identities that have been subscribed to you. So in order for you to initiate into the next stage, in order for you to get out of this physical material reality, right? Break the boundary that is Saturn. Saturn is the boundary, the crown chakra. You have to unbecome everything that you have been up until this point. Okay? And you have to become no one. I am more than just Taja. And it's the very fact that I'm trying to be Taja that's causing the issues, right? Because I consider myself to be loyal. I consider myself to be determined. I consider myself to be innately optimistic. But anytime I'm not those things, it causes problems in my life. Because then I say, well, what is wrong with me? What's going on? Am I depressed? And then I become depression. So when they was explaining this to me, they was telling me that we're always in a state of becoming. And I'm like, yeah, I heard that before. I get it. Like, but I didn't really understand till today what that really means. It means that you become the frequency of the energy. Okay, so that is what you're becoming. You're becoming a different frequency. So let me give you an example. Say, for instance, that you've been through some type of trauma in your past, right? And say that you've attached a specific emotion to that trauma. We are not really reliving those moments. We are becoming those moments again. Why? Because every time you think about that, you get back in the energy of it. So in this now moment, you're not in the past. In this now moment, you are becoming that again, right? So same thing with me going to the class and doing the intellectualizing part of identity boxes I put myself in and what I subscribe to in society and everything. It's like I understand what it is, but it's not enough to have awareness of something. You have to become it, right? So yesterday what happened is I became it, or this morning what happened is I actually got into the frequency that resonates with that energy. And when I got into the energy, I completely understood what it was trying to tell me, what it was all about. It's almost like that same idea of in order for you to heal it, you got to feel it. You have to become it again. In order for you to heal the shit that you've been through, you have to become it again. But in order for you to go where you're going, you also have to become it. So letting go of who you think you are and just being and just existing and realizing that regardless of how you show up, you're still going to be those things that you subscribe to yourself. But self-defining it, meaning like yours doesn't look like the way that they want it to look. Yours looks like yours. And you being okay with that, and you not caring about the fear of judgment from other people and all of that, right? And you just existing as you are, you existing authentically, then you break the barrier. And now you are actually becoming whole again. But that's the barrier, is the releasing the self-subscribed identities. That is the liberation. That is the peace. That hit me like a ton of fucking bricks this morning, because y'all know that my podcast is called Becoming No One. My website, Becoming No One. My Patreon, Becoming No One. And when I heard that name 3 years ago, in my head, all I could think about was Game of Thrones. And I was like, yes, I am no one. You know, thinking I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And it wasn't in just today that I actually became it to truly understand why it's important. Because you cannot make it to the next step in your journey until you become no one. Until you stop trying to subscribe to the boxes. Until you break all the fucking boxes. And understand everything appears on a spectrum. And that causes separation inside of yourself. And whenever you don't fit into a box perfectly, it causes you pain and suffering. It causes an identity crisis, and now you don't know who you are. It causes depression. It causes tension. It causes uneasiness. But the thing about it is that you were never supposed to be in a box. That's the illusion. The boxes are the illusion. Break the fucking boxes and realize, regardless of what it is or how it is that you decide to show up, you're still going to be those things. And in order for you to, because I've really been feeling like these last couple of months, I've kind of felt like abandoned by my team a little bit. Like I felt like I'm not getting the same messages or the same understanding. It's because I was stuck here, and a lot of people get stuck right here. You get to the shadows part and the fear part, and even after you've done the shadow work, right? But you get stuck in that astral part, that sixth domain, that domain where it's a lot of potential, but it's a lot of fear. It's a lot of, you know, whatever. And I've been in this place for so long. I'm just like team, what's going on? Is y'all good? Like, what I do? You know, why y'all ain't help? Like, what's going on? But it's because I needed to get past the fear myself in order for me to even get awareness that the next thing, now that you got to release the identities. The identities are what is holding you back. And I got the download so clear this morning. That's the clearest download I've had in like 4 months. It was me. This whole time I'm getting attacked. In my dreams, and it was me. Because I felt like I was getting attacked in the physical world. And until I can get over that fear, until I can learn to stand up for myself, until I can realize that I have a right to defend myself, I couldn't get, because that was the last thing that I needed to do. That was the last thing that I needed to do, was to get over that. And that's been happening for months, but I just wasn't getting the message because I was too distracted by all the things. So you have to unbecome in order for you to go to the next level. And that's what I mean by becoming no one. I am not just Taja. I'm not just this body. I am not my thoughts. I am not my emotions. I'm not just a girl. I'm not just an athlete. I'm not just a spiritual mentor. I am everything all at once. And everything exists on a spectrum. I cannot be defined. I'm infinite. I am boundless. So are you. And that's what it means to get in contact with your crown chakra. Because they tell you, you know, this is the highest place that you could reach. No, it's not. That is the initiation stage out while you're still here. This is the initiation stage out, but it's not the overall goal. It's the boundary you have to break to get to where to remember again. Because after that, it's just remembering everything that you are. You're getting closer back to wholeness. But you cannot remember until you stop trying to be Taja, or you stop trying to be a good person, a good friend, a good cousin, a good this, and just be who you are. If you don't feel like talking on the phone with them every fucking day, don't talk on the phone with them every day. You know, it also made me start to realize that a lot of these things that are happening technology wise are to distract us even further. What I mean by that is back in the day, you couldn't get a hold of your friends until, like, it'll take you 3-4 months to get a hold of your friends. Why? Because they only had house phones or pagers. You know, like, so it was not an expectation that you were meant to talk to this person every fucking day. It was not an expectation. But when your phone gets in your hand, now it's like, well, I called you, I text you. Like, it was not an expectation. But when your phone gets in your hand, now it's like, well, I called you, I text you. Like, people have entitlement over your space and your time and access to you, even though it's not theirs to possess. But we've created this dynamic where they feel like it is. And because we didn't have proper boundaries, or because we're in this new terrain and it's just like, oh my gosh, this is exciting new technology, I can't wait to talk to my friends. We feel like we're supposed to be in contact with each other all the time. Not only that, we now got access to trauma over and over and over again. We was never supposed to experience trauma at the level that we experience it. But because we got these phones in our hands and we're constantly seeing what's going on in the world, we are getting traumatized every single day. Whereas before, we didn't have to deal with that. My family come from farms. All they had was the news, if they was watching that, if they ain't spend a whole damn day outside. But now, because this is in our hand, it's entering into our existence. They put a reality in your existence, in your reality. So they creating a reality in your reality, and you subscribe to it. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to get to the next level, you're going to have to release yourself from the false realities. You're going to have to disconnect from these things that are meant to cause separation, like technology. Okay? Technology has always been the fall of man. It always has been. And I don't care how you feel about that. That is the truth. It has always been the fall of man, because you're choosing transhumanism over transcendence. Transcendence is something you can do naturally. A lot of y'all don't even know that y'all dream walkers. You don't have to be next to your family to talk to them. You can walk right into their motherfucking dream. But y'all don't know that. Telepathy, real thing. I can feel when something wrong with my brother. I don't give a fuck how far I am away from home. I feel it in my being that something is wrong. And we're not even twins. But that's my nigga, my nerve. You know? Some of y'all can astral project. Some of y'all can remote view. But y'all not working on the skills or developing the skills because you are put into a box. A box that told you, you can't do that. If you talk to spirits, then you a demon. Or if you're talking to spirits, you're talking to demons. If you're not talking to Jesus, you're talking to demons. Oh, you can't use crystals. Oh, no, you can't do that because we don't do that. You're not going to be a good Christian woman if you do that. All those things are meant to help you step into your divinity. Crystals come from the sixth plane, the one that's closest to God. You yourself are a melanite crystalline being. You're an angelic being. Crystal is the technology that you are. But you're not supposed to touch that. All of these things are illusions. All of them are false realities. All of them are boxes that need to be broken in order for you to be initiated into your higher self. And you cannot get initiated until you detach, until you release the expectations that you have of yourself from society, from your parents, and you just be as you are. No one. That's who you are. You're no one. You're figuring it out. You're constantly in this state of becoming. So depending on what piques your curiosity, it determines who you become. And that can be very different than where you thought you were supposed to be. My guys told me to take hypnosis. I would have never, I would 5 years ago, that would have been funny as hell to me. But because I'm always in the state of becoming and I've let my curiosity move me, and I want the guidance, and I'm taking everything, I'm in the state of being open, right? Because that's what it is. If you put yourself in a box, you're closed. You're closed off. But when you open yourself up, now you're balanced. Now you're infinite. Now all possibilities are in front of you. Now you go into things with an open mind. And I was like, well, shit, I mean, it's talking about the mind. Maybe I'll just learn some more about the brain. The whole time, it helped me to get to the next step in my fucking journey. And I wasn't seeing it. I wasn't seeing it for months. So you're always becoming. You're never going to stay this version because everything is temporary. Y'all have seen me over these last 3 years. Think about my journey. Y'all seen me over these last 3 years. When I got on here, I was talking about legal stuff. And then I was depressed and going through a healing journey. I was struggling with my job. I was telling y'all stories about me fighting and me trying to become a new person. And then I started doing healing content and educational content. And then that just kept going and going and going in different directions. And then I started doing human design. And then I went to mediumship school and I started doing mediumship work. And now I'm doing hypnosis. You're always becoming. Stop trying to be this one version because you're limiting yourself. And that's keeping you locked into this physicality. Be it all. Every single opportunity that's available to somebody else is available to you. Every single thing is an option for you. It's just whether or not you choose it or you don't. That's why you don't judge nothing. Because technically you could be behaving like that. You're just choosing not to. That's not for you. So it's not a bad thing. It just means that's not the path that you're taking. But sometimes you got to see what you don't want to see to realize what you do want. It's like you go to this side of this corner and be like, oh shit, it's a little hectic over here. I don't want that. So then you move over to this side. Everything is you echoing back to you, your path. So you have to be open. You have to be willing to release who you think you are in order for you to initiate into who you actually fucking are. In order for you to remember who you actually fucking are. So after you get past this identity section, the next part is to know thyself. Remember I said the best thing you can know about yourself in this reality is to know thyself, is to know yourself. Until you release the identities that everybody placed on you, you can't. Until you realize that everybody that you've encountered in this life that has made some type of impact over you, small or little or big, is a part of your soul family. And they're trying to help you to get to where you're going. And you don't take it personal. And you realize that it was all trying to teach you something. They are you and you are them. They're just mirroring back to you what you cannot see. And sometimes you can't heal it until you feel it. So they push you deeper and deeper and deeper into that energy of self-betrayal. Or deeper and deeper and deeper into this energy of low self-esteem. Right? Why? Because you keep betraying yourself for them. Over and over and over again. Until you can feel it enough to say, no, enough is enough. I got to do something different. But then you point the finger at that person like, you're to blame and you did this to me and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. When that's your best friend on the other side. That's another part of you. That's another part of you. Y'all keep incarnating together because you're not learning the lesson. They the perfect person to teach you that lesson because they know exactly what to do to get you there. They know what you're going to fall for. They know what you're not going to fall for. They know exactly how to do it. So it's not personal. It is just another echo of you. It's just another version of you. Mirroring what you refuse to see or what you can't see because of the illusion. Because of the boxes, right? When you in that box where you stay and you stay and you stay and you betray yourself, a lot of times that box is womanhood. A lot of times that box is the nice girl. It's archetypes that you place on yourself. A lot of times that's the peace. You just want to keep the peace. Right? The nice girl is too understanding, right? She's prioritizing everybody else's needs over her own. What that situation is trying to do is break the fucking box. So it's not about the other person and what they put you through. You put you through that. You actually decided that that's what you needed before you got here. But you can't see it. I'm sorry, I'm sweating a little bit because my ass is motherfucking hot this damn here. Right? But you can't see it because you're still in the illusion until you break the identities and you realize that it needed to happen to get you here because that was the fracture. That was the thing that woke you up to it. It needed to happen so that it can wake you up. It don't mean you got to go back there, but now you have a higher understanding. You're seeing the bigger picture. But sometimes when that emotion is in your face, you can't see nothing but that finger in your face. When you move it back, you can see the whole board. Get the finger out your face, and the finger is the emotion. The emotion is only telling you, I like this or I don't like this. That's it. So move accordingly. That is the guidance. I get asked all the time, how do I get in contact with my higher self? You are your higher self. You are your lower self. You're both of them. It's just a matter of, are you listening or are you not listening to yourself? Or are you trying to fit into these boxes where they told you to fit into? And that's where the pain and suffering and the tension is coming from. You trying to be a good daughter. You trying to be a good sister. You trying to prove to people that you loyal. So you got to pick that phone up even when you ain't got it. And they just trauma dumping, trauma dumping, trauma dumping. That situation is teaching you, you need better boundaries. You need to learn how to communicate. Break the box. Regardless of if you pick up the phone or not, it does not change the fact that you consider yourself to be a loyal person. It should not change the fact. You just can't be somebody's dumping ground, because that shit's not good for your mental health. Y'all get what I'm saying? Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Let me go back and read some of the comments. Sorry, I needed to ignore the comments because moon cycles, biological processes are going on right now, and I can't answer y'all questions while I'm trying to get the thought out. And I don't want to, you know. Yes, like restrictions we had to uphold. Yes. Ada, what's your question, love? How do I get a reading about if I have a curse or a blockage? I don't do those type of readings, babe. But whatever it is, listen to whatever it is that it's telling you. Whatever thoughts are going through your mind is the curse you need to break. That's the thing you need to heal. But if you asking that, then there's definitely some healing you need to do. Trying to be a peacemaker because you know your capabilities. But you're not keeping your peace, you're keeping a peace. Wait, so you have to astral project in order to reach source? No, that's not what I'm saying, love. Hey, Unique. Hey, Alicia. Or Alicia, I'm sorry, I don't know what the pronunciation of it is. I'm sorry. That sounds so freeing and peaceful. It is. It is to actually be on the other side. Like, it really is liberation. You know? Saturn is what you have to master. Saturn is what you have to master. And that's self-liberation and external liberation. Right? Aquarius teaches us to step into your authenticity and be weird and be odd. That's why Aquariuses pride themselves on being an individual. It's about individualism, right? That's what that's teaching us. But then the feminine side is Capricorn. Capricorn is work, work, work. And it's very practical. And I have to do it this way because this is the only way. But that's self-limiting belief systems. I'm heavy Capricorn. I could write a book on self-limiting belief systems. Right? But that's the identities. They told you to do it this way. And it's just like, okay, that's the way that I'm doing it. Now it's time for you to define your own identity. And it does not have to look like how they told you it has to look. Regardless of if I wear pink or not, I'm still a girl. I have the parts to prove it. You know, these boxes do not define you. You have to break free of them. Hey, Jen, you are so very welcome, love. Yes, we are everything and nothing at the same time. Exactly. We are alive and dead at the same time. That's why I can talk to the spiritual realm, because I am spirit and a soul with a body. Meaning like I'm a soul with a spirit and a body. You know? Makes so much sense. Really needed to hear this. Thank you. You're welcome, Jen. You're welcome, Sassy. Story of my life. The dreams get real. Yes. Limited by labeling will always keep you unaware of that. That is you. Yes. Limit access. Absolutely. We need to get back to grounding for sure. What's a dream walker consist of? I don't necessarily know how to explain it to you, but the only way that I can explain it is that I always end up in dreams I'm not supposed to be in, if that makes sense. And I know that I'm not supposed to be in them because I will go and do something and somebody will stop me and be like, wait, we don't, like, what are you doing? Like, you can't go down there, or you can't do this, or you can't whatever. And then they like will say something to me like, oh my gosh, like your tongue is so long, or oh my gosh, like you look like this person. Like, it's like they're almost like in admiration of me, and I can't see myself because obviously I'm in a fucking dream or astral projected or whatever the case may be. But I always get stopped by beings and they're super curious about how I'm there or what I'm doing there. So I walk into spaces I'm not supposed to when I'm asleep. And some of them are beautiful. Like, I'll see this beautiful, 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 like ocean blue water that has steps going into it, and people are going into the water, and I'm confused because they in like regular people clothes. It's like they just disappear into shit. And so then I like look at that and I'm like, let me just go over here and see what's, and they're just like, no, you can't do that. Like, wait, what are you doing here? And it's just like I don't know how to explain it. It just, either you can or you can't. I think it's something that could probably be developed through astral projection, you know, through things like that, and you can point yourself in different realms and different, you know, things. But another thing that I came to understand as well is that everything did come from the darkness. Everything came from chaos. And when you say that you're separating and you're going back and towards the whole, you are going back towards darkness. So you got to understand that you are both things. You are light and dark. You need both parts. Hello, this information you are releasing is so true and real. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. That's real. Yes, I pick it up. Okay. Hear you loud and clear. I definitely understand all this beautiful message. Okay. Heavy on the moon cycles, child. Listen, I'm going on a 7-day fast for a breakthrough. Can you suggest any prayers or affirmations, please? It's whatever you need. You're going to be the best. You're going to be the expert on what you need in your life because you're having the experience. You know, but one thing that I have been telling myself before I go into psychic readings and when I go into meditation is I release all expectations. I release my attachment to everything. And I've literally just keep saying that to myself. And it's like I almost enter into this place where there are no thoughts. Like, it's pure silence. I enter back into the darkness. It's like pure silence, but the silence is louder than you think it would be. It's almost like having like a static TV on or something, like a TV on that's static in, like, you know, them old school TVs that didn't have a signal. Like, it sounds like that. And it's like when I say I release all my attachments to everything, I'm no one. I'll say that to myself. I'm no one. I'm no one. I don't have thoughts. I don't have feelings. It's just like I'm there. I'm just in the present moment. That's what it means to be in the present moment. I think a lot of us think that we are in the present moment, and we are not. But we see glimpses of it throughout our day. It's like when you're sitting on the beach and you're just looking out at the water and you don't have a thought in your head. You're just taking it in and just existing. It's like we have moments of it, but a lot of us don't know how to get there or stay there. So when I'm in meditation, I was literally just in meditation. After I got the download, I was like, okay, well, let me just try. And I just was like, I released my attachment to everything, everybody, across all dimensions. I'm no one. And then I just stopped. And it was like silent. It was silent. It was nothing. It was nothing there. It's peace. That's what it feels like. It felt peaceful. And so I was like, I gotta get the fuck up and I gotta go tell people about this, because we're always in this state of becoming. But in order for us to become, we have to unbecome, you know, everything that we thought that we were. And also realize that if you attach an emotion to a memory, you don't relive a memory. You become it again right now in this present moment. So you are choosing. So you are choosing to experience that again. Anytime that you subscribe to these identities, or you think that you're your past memories, or the things that you have been through, you're choosing separation. You're choosing not to show up authentically in this moment. Yes, because life as we know it, it is just a dream. Exactly. Exactly. It's just a dream. Hey, Seth. Oh, have you seen the SpongeBob episode where he invaded everybody else's dreams? Yes. I sure have. I used to love SpongeBob. SpongeBob had a lot of messages too. If you go back and watch SpongeBob with your adult brain, it's so much stuff in there. Yes, and you can't avoid it. Yep. I just had the same download yesterday. I'm everything and nothing. Just thought and matter. Yeah. That makes so much sense. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. But that's what I wanted to hop on here and talk about, because I just realized that we make it so much harder than it has to be, but it's because we don't have the heightened awareness, you know? So I realized that what's actually happening as you working through those first 7 chakras is you're just expanding your awareness. You need to know more. Why? Because knowing more helps to open you up to other possibilities. Okay? It's the thing that it's like the same of what I was talking about yesterday when I was talking about hypnosis, and how hypnosis made me realize that in order for you to help somebody, you actually have to poke holes in what it is that they believe, because your belief systems determine what you experience in your reality. So if you're holding a belief system from childhood because, you know, maybe an event happened and then an idea came in your head that said, people don't love me. And then because you think and expect that people don't love you, or you're looking for evidence of that, right? You're creating the evidence. But you say, people don't love me, people don't listen to me, right? And then you keep having these encounters with people that confirm to you that people don't love you, people don't listen to you, right? If I come in and I try to love you, you're going to say to yourself, well, people don't love me, people don't listen to me. So you're not going to be able to receive me, right? And I can tell you, hey, your problem is that you feel like you're unlovable. But it's not enough for me to bring it to your awareness. You have to get back in that energy so that you can understand. So hypnosis is leading you into a heightened state of awareness, because it's leading you to the water and poking holes in it, asking you questions about that belief system. Do you have any evidence that shows you that people don't love you and people don't believe you? Or is that based on a feeling? Is it a fact or a feeling? Was based on a feeling. Okay, now you get them to start questioning the foundation that they've built all of these things on, and then you present them another alternative perspective. But until they detach from that belief system, you're never going to be able to do anything with them. It's almost like if you got older parents, right, who live a traditional life, and they're like, you need to be married before you have kids. You know, they're never going to see your side of it until you break that notion, that belief system within them. They're always going to be like, I'm disappointed in you. You didn't do this the way that I told you to do it, and da da da. It's the same thing. It's phenomenalism. You know? Believing that things are just one way, and this is the way, and anything that comes along and threatens your belief system, when it comes to that, you're going to reject and reject and reject. So, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. That's what I had to get on here and say. And I was just like, I need to speak about this because this is important. You know, I'm just realizing that if everybody would just stop trying to be something and just be who they are, we would not have these problems. You know, I believe we are the pioneers of the new generation. We came perfect and imperfect, healed and broken. There's no problem. We just have to remember. Exactly. But you can't remember until you stop trying to be something. Meaning like the identities. You stop trying to fit into, hi Sam, you stop trying to fit into the identities. Which is, I'm a girl, so girls act like this. I'm an athlete, athletes act like this. I'm black, we do it this way. I'm this, so we do it that way. You have to stop that, because that's what's causing the tension. Because anytime you fall short of that fucking box, now you're in an identity crisis. Now you're depressed. Now you feel like you disappointed everybody. Your cousin needed you. She really needed you because she was going through a breakup. And you were on your way to her and your tire popped and you couldn't get to her. And so she drank herself. She drank. And by the time you got there, she was passed out on the line, butt naked. And you think that's your fault. And it proves that you're a bad cousin because you couldn't get there on time. No. That's not. We are subscribing to these boxes, and anytime we fall short, our world falls apart. Our perception of ourself falls apart. Our identity falls apart. But your identity is fluid. It's not solid and stationary. It's fluid. You're always in this state of becoming and unbecoming, releasing and accepting. You're always in this state of movement. You're matching these different frequencies. And as you become those different frequencies, you get access to more information. And that more information is either going to guide you in this direction or that direction or this one or that one. But if you're stuck viewing yourself as one thing, you're never going to get through the physicality of everything. You're never going to get back to that state of wholeness, because that is the initiation. Releasing the fear, where most people get stuck, and then releasing the identity, your detachment. I am more than just me. I am more than this body. I am more than these thoughts. I am more than these emotions. I am more than the experiences that I've been through. I am more than the experiences to come. That's when the real work starts to happen. If someone tells you that you're less or incomplete, they're selling you something. Exactly. Don't buy into it. I think our acceptance of these identity systems is the problem. You're either going to accept something, reject it, or reject it. Anything that makes you feel a negative experience, that's a rejection. Anything that makes you feel a positive experience, you should move towards it. So if you're doing something out of obligation, you are choosing separation over authenticity. You're choosing separation over wholeness. You're choosing to show up as a version of yourself and to appease a false reality that was never for you. Depending on the opinions of your friends and your parents and all these other people. You got all these people trying to tell you who you're supposed to be, and you're trying to appease all these different people. And you can't do it. It makes you miserable. I told you a million times I was the perfect version of who they wanted me to be, and they still wasn't satisfied. You can try, but the only thing you ever can be is you. And it's a part of the process. The separation is a part of the process. That is what you came here to do. You came here in the realm of separation to separate so that you can make an authentic choice. Either go back to wholeness or be focused on self. Those are the choices. Which is service to others or service to self. Those are the choices. And it's not until you choose to go back to wholeness that you actually can get out of this school. Because if you choose service to self, you only can polarize so far. Why? Because you operating in a closed state. You closed off. You held tightly. You wound tightly. You got to stop being and just experience it. Exist. You are the observer. You're not the fixer. You're not the architect. Well, you are the architect, the co-creator. But nothing is happening to you. Everything is happening for you. And a lot of us don't know our place in this. And that's why it's not that I'm saying something different in every video. Sometimes I'm saying the same thing just in a different way, because we all learn in a different way. I'm trying to make sure I appeal and say it in a way that everybody can understand. Thank you for allowing yourself to channel love to and through you to help others. Thank you, boo. You know? So we have to stop trying to be anything and just be who we are. Get curious about who that person is. Discover that person. Become that person. Become these different energies that you like. Because you won't really understand if you like them until you get into them. And then when you get into it, if you don't like it, don't do that no more. For example, depression. I know that frequency way too much. Why? Because I won't be meeting my expectation or somebody else's expectation because I ain't making what I'm supposed to make or I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, right? And then I'm just like, well, what is wrong with me? This box is unattainable. Woe is me, I must fall apart. Right? I'm causing the tension. I'm causing the problems by trying to be something that does not come natural to me. Trying to force fetch to happen. When I could just be who I am, show up authentically, and that is me being on my path. When you show up authentically, you detach from the subscribed programs. You're unsubscribing from the channels. And that is the initiation to start becoming no one, which is pushing you back towards wholeness. Because wholeness is everything in existence, and you are everything in existence. You are the universe. You are constellations. You are all of it. Realms. Whole realms exist inside of you. And when you can get past the initiation stage and you can release the detachment, the journey is not outwards. It's not up. It's not down. It's in. It's in. Everything is in. You know? Then you can actually take the journey in and figure out who you actually are. And it's not figuring out who you are. So let me rephrase that. Remember who you are. Because it's about remembering. You've always been this person. You just had all these people telling you to show up a specific way. And because you felt like you owe something to them because they feeding you or they changing you or they taking you to school or they whatever, you fell into it. You subscribed and you wanted to please them. And the truth is, by pleasing them, you betrayed yourself. You chose separation. You chose to be a version of yourself that does not exist. Now you have to unbecome those versions. It's a remembrance. Yes, Keisha. It's a remembrance. It's just remembering who you already are. And that's why we be in so much pain, because our soul is screaming to us. This is not, I don't like this. Why are we doing this? Well, because my mama said I'm the first generation and I got to go to college and take care of the whole family. And I mean, I don't necessarily even want to be a doctor, but I got to be a doctor because when I was a kid, we did this little family ritual and it's like either choose the money or choose the stethoscope, and I chose the stethoscope, so I have to be a doctor. Otherwise, I'm going to be ousted by my entire family. But you don't even fucking like blood. Every time you see blood, you faint. You have to unbecome. You cannot be who people want you to be. You can only be who you are, or your soul is going to be screaming. Pain and suffering is not a bad thing. Pain and suffering is telling you you have reached your boundary. If you don't do anything about this, you're going to continue to feel like this. So I think back to all those times when I was depressed and I was going through it, and it's just like, it's because I was trying to meet an expectation that I didn't even want. I didn't even want this fucking expectation. When I step outside of all that shit, all the stuff that people tell me I should have, I don't want them. They're making you miserable. Why would I want them? Why would I want that? Just to say that somebody loves me, but they cheating on you every other day? They in your best friend's DMs? Fraternizing? They under everybody's picture? This person liked. But that's love. No, you're living in a false reality. It's delusion and illusion. Ooh-wee, when I understood the root of depression and suffering, my spirit was crying out. Yes, mine was too. And suffering. Why? Because I was trying to be what I am not naturally. I am living in a false reality. I am feeding into the illusions. But the problem is that you cannot lie. Your feelings will never lie to you because that is your soul communicating to you. So you know it's not right for you the whole time that you're doing it. You know that you are living separate from your authentic self. You know it. And that's why you in pain. Because you know that this is not you. But you're trying to meet an expectation. You're trying to fit into a box that don't fucking belong to you. And now look at you. You have to unsubscribe. It does not feel good at all. Service to self is service to all because we are one. Just be in the now because there is no past or future. Exactly. Because you cannot live in the past. You only can become the past. You cannot live in the future. You only can set expectations for the future. Right? But then that causes you to be in a cycle of disappointment. Why? Because you cannot predict what it is that is coming. So it's just disappointing yourself over and over and over again. Because you're worried about something that does not exist. You're not even meeting the frequency of that thing when you're worried about it. Because having awareness of it isn't enough. You have to become it. And that's what I mean when I say that you are always in a state of becoming. You need to match the frequency of it. You need to resonate at the frequency of it. You know? The way I feel when I'm working, no matter what job, I feel like I'm wasting my time, my soul being crying. Yes, baby. I was too. So you know what I did? I started treating that job like a means for survival. I am only here because I got to pay my bills. I stopped tap dancing. I stopped trying to prove that I was a good worker. Yeah, I stopped overdoing it. My 150 became 50 real quick. And my 50 still, they fucking, my 50 still, they 100. But I just dialed it back and I said, wait a fucking minute. What do I want? Okay, then I'm going to have to put in the work. I'm working 2 jobs and doing the podcast at night. I don't get nothing from the podcast. I didn't get nothing from the podcast. But it built a platform. It served a purpose. Same for TikTok. I don't get money from TikTok. I don't get money from TikTok. But it builds the platform. It brings the people's awareness to me. I only just last week got accepted into YouTube's monetization program. And I've been building that for 2 years. But I kept the job until I didn't need it anymore. And I built what I wanted at night. Because I know I'm not the type of bitch that you're going to have to keep telling. You're not about to keep telling me what to do. And I don't know who you talking to. But now I set the cat. I'll flip all this shit over. And I don't give a fuck. I'll have an impulsive moment and fuck up everybody's day. Thank you, Celine. I couldn't keep doing it because that's not authentic to my soul. What I really wanted to do was this. Just talk to people. Just help people. Why? Because I've been in as much pain as y'all have. I have really high highs and really low lows. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't had your experience, but I'm damn sure I felt your feelings. So that's where I put my energy. I used my job to build this. And then when I got it to this point where I had built something, now I provide services to help us to understand what I'm talking to y'all about. And in the process of me doing that, because please realize that I'm still becoming. I don't have it all figured out. I just got enough figured out to get us out the darkness. But as I am doing this, and I've been doing this over the last 2 years, I have not stopped growing. I have not stopped becoming. I continue to do what I need to do on my personal journey. And then anything that I realize, I feed back to y'all. I feed back to us. I feed back to the other parts of me, which are y'all. That's it. Service to others. Service to, but you need to have, it's a 51-49 split. You need to be 51% service to others, 49% service to yourself. And that's why I don't answer the phone on weekends. Right? You're learning how to work and navigate within the system. Now I got access to higher information and I'm just going to channel it down. It comes through me and I manifest it in this reality. That's it. I get paid to exist right now as I am, authentically. Every single piece of me is needed. Every single piece of me is needed, meaning which means every single one of y'all is needed. But as your authentic self, not this masked version of yourself, not this version of yourself that's trying to fit in all these boxes at once. I could never be you. You could never be me. But if you be you and I be me, we can rise everybody else up. And that's the point of all this shit. But first, we got to lead the way, which means we got to go through it ourselves in order for us to turn around and illuminate the path. You see, the story of Harriet Tubman, and I'm doing this loosely, is that she went first and then she came back. Why did she go first? Because she needed to figure out how. By herself, it was a solo journey. And then she figured out what houses they could hit. She figured out what path they was going to take. And they called that path the Underground Railroad. But that's the path she took herself first. And then she looked back. That's the plan. I can only tell y'all as much as I know right now. And I know what I know right now is not going to be enough for 2 years from now. So I keep becoming, I keep learning, I keep growing, and I keep following my curiosity and hearing the guidance and sitting with myself. Because the journey is within. The journey is not, I'm not going to get what I need out here. I can only get it in here. Sorry, y'all. Hey, that one. Hey, Keisha, thank you. Oh, no, not baby crash out. Yes, child. My crash out is not a baby. My crash out is a giant. My crash out is shake the room. And I don't know no bounds because my Mars is in Aries. And so it happens very quickly and I'm not in control. I don't know who that is. You done poked the wrong bear. So yeah. But that's it, y'all. That's all. That's all I wanted to say is that the identities, y'all, that's all. That's all I wanted to say is that the identities that you subscribe to, the programs that you subscribe to, the archetypes that you subscribe to are the fucking problem. They are the separation. Because you know that it's not you. So if you ever come across a box that somebody trying to put you in, well, you're supposed to behave like this because you're a girl, don't accept that. You don't have to accept that as being your truth. You only ever had to be you, because regardless of if you accept that or not, you're still that thing. You just don't do it the way they want you to do it. And you shouldn't have to. If I'm being honest, you shouldn't have to. So, that is it. Let me pull a card from my deck. I can't tell y'all yet. Anyways, let me pull a card. Messages from the divine before I hop off here. Because I just came on to deliver a message, then I wanted to bounce. That's it. That's all. The first card I got, remember that you can't change anyone but yourself. That's T. Look around for some signs the universe is speaking to you. Period. Never forget how resilient you are. You always bounce back. And do. All right. So, I'm going to post this on YouTube. Happy Sunday. I love y'all. And I might be on here on Monday to do some readings. I think I want to do some one question readings for people who just have like a question of where they are in a reality, and maybe pull some cards for y'all or something. So I think I'm gonna do that on Monday, depending on, hold on, let me look at my schedule real quick though while I'm talking. Hold on, wait a second. I could probably do that tomorrow. I could do that tomorrow. So I'll probably be on here tomorrow just to do some readings or answer some questions or whatever it may be. And so, yeah, so that's all I wanted. I just wanted to hop on here and tell y'all that the identities are the problem. And I love y'all. And we're going to get through it. You know, just keep becoming. That's it. So I hope y'all have an amazing Sunday. And I'm gonna post this on YouTube for those of y'all who want to watch it again, which I highly suggest. I love you back. I highly suggest that you do if you came in later on. It will be on YouTube, and I will probably say give me like an hour and a half. And yeah, I love y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.